Hey guys, it's Grace.
Hi, it's Loraya.
We're the Indigos, and last time we had a little chat, we had a chat with Gloria, and that was really cool to have somebody who follows us to interject and be part of the conversation. And today we thought, uh, who doesn't like a story about how to detach from an ex? We all have this issue with many of our exes, and sometimes, particularly for girls, it's very harder, much more harder, I think, to detach yourself because we make stories up. So, Lorraine, you want to take it away?
Yeah, I think it's very important to get to a space that when you're dealing with someone, we all have this back and forth with certain exes, or lovers, whatever you call them, but where there's a cycle, you accept them back, they accept you back, you don't know how to cut the cord. And it's important to kind of know what you want, because if you don't, you'll waste a lot of time that's unnecessary in getting to a space where you either let something go or you move in the direction of building something with someone. We've all had these moments where we don't know where to go. We've pretty much been in limbo. I've had to learn as time has gone on. I had an ex that I had been back and forth with for a really long time, and I had learned through my experience of that situation. It only took me once to get that. No, you can't just keep a vicious cycle. You have to decide if you're building towards something or you let it go, because it's a lot of wasted time. And I know I don't have the energy to do it. A lot of people don't, and they invest so much time in staying in a place that they don't belong. And when it comes to detaching, there's different ways that you go about it. For me personally, I like to stay in the realm of reality of what's really going on in my life. So when I'm looking at a situation, example, last relationship I was dealing with a dishonest ex, and not being in a space where I could be forgiving over dishonesty because there wasn't trust there, because it had been broken. And for me personally, it's hard to detach when you have feelings, where it's not that I didn't feel, I just had to stay in the place of reality, where I had to say to myself, I love you, you are an amazing person, we get along great, but the foundation of not having trust will not serve us. And if we're not in a space for me to be elevated enough to be forgiving isn't reached, and you're not in a space to be honest enough to admit your faults and right your wrongs, then we can't work together. And that's what I did with my situation. Like, I'm getting into this personal experience because this is how I dealt with getting over my ex, which it hurt so bad. You know, it's not easy when you have to move on or detach with someone. And not to say that my feelings left. It wasn't a situation when I had broken up that my feelings weren't there. I'm not numb and immune to like not feeling, but I do live in reality where I'm not going to allow my feelings to stop my growth or to keep me in a place for too long. And that's what I dealt with, where I had to say, you know what, at the end of the day, and one of my videos was based on that, an action repeated more than once is a decision. So I had to get to a space of reality to say, you know what, you weren't honest because you didn't want to be. You had the option. A lot of times we excuse things because of our emotional feelings.
Yeah.
Being in the emotional body doesn't serve us outside of recognizing the energy that we're in and how we feel, because a lot of times it just takes you back to who you are as a person, whether it's something you need to heal, you need to grow from and move past. So I personally decided to make a conscious decision. I love you, I care about you, but the decisions you made has created this new reality that we're in. And the best way that I was able to get past dealing with my ex and the connection is accepting the truth and where I was, accepting the reality that we weren't in a great situation because the choices. Sorry, go ahead. What'd you say?
No, I was just saying, I think that's what a lot of people find difficult, is accepting the truth of the actual situation that they're in. I think you're very unique in that way, from, you know, knowing you quite well. Like, you're very unique in the way that you can, you know, deal with the reality of what you're saying. You know, you're actually okay to deal with the reality. This is what it is. This is what's going on. And I'm going to make my decision based on that. I think for a lot of people, especially I can talk for myself here.
Yeah.
I romanticize, you know, I think of the potentials. I'm not dealing with the reality, you know.
But we can't fall in love with people's potential. That's how people get stuck in a place they don't belong, because it's like, I get it. I understand where you're coming from, because I feel that way too. When I'm in a situation, I'm in love and I'm thinking about like, oh, forever and what this could be, and this could be amazing. But I also have to take the reality of, we make the decisions we make. And to me, what helps me get to that space is by telling myself, okay, whoever I'm loving at the time, they had 100 different ways to go about whatever the situation was. And this is what they chose. So I have to be okay with, if I'm trying to communicate with someone and they're shutting down, I have to be okay with, they don't want to make this work because they're allowing their shortcoming to affect our love experience. Where you have to get into a space where you understand as well, when it comes to the love experience, what people are going through, our personal growth can affect our love experiences. You know, like, and I tell people all the time, work on your shortcomings, not in the relationship, because it actually damages the relationship. That's when the individual walk comes in.
Yeah.
Spend time alone to develop and grow for yourself, so that you can be a better version when you get into a relationship. I tell people all the time, don't get into a relationship to heal the last situation.
Yeah. Well, that's what most people do. They go into relationships to fill the voids. And the thing is, you can't fill the voids. It comes from yourself. And I think
you're putting a Band-Aid on a scar. Exactly. When that Band-Aid falls off, guess what? That scar's still there.
Yeah.
You know, you have to recognize what the scar is, what happened, and come to terms with it, and be okay so that you can move on.
Yeah. So, yeah, we were talking about, so how this came about was last night we were both talking about instances where we've had to detach from an ex, and the other night I was sharing with Maria.
Oh my God. This one's over here doing moonbeam spells.
I'm doing these ritual things, and because as you all know, because this is live, but when people watch it later, it's going to not be live. But at the moment, it is winter solstice, and it's the full moon at the same time. And this won't happen again for a long period of time, till the end of the century, basically. So anyway, I needed to detach from. We keep bringing these instances up from this ex of mine, but this is how I can relate to it. That I really wanted to get him out of my system and really detach and go to a higher space of not being attached to my ego and the relationship that I had with him, because I was romanticizing about the things about him. But in actual fact, when I look at the reality of what Lorena is saying, how she deals with it, when I look at the reality and actually what he has served me, it's not enough to hold the space still. And so I needed to just kind of do it in my own way, which was kind of in my mind, kind of cleanse out of my system, cleanse him out of my system, to be able to create the space for what I want, which is true love. That's only what I'm really after. So we were like, I was telling her all these stories about what I was doing and my little moon and ritual.
No, but it's like, good though. That's so good though, because sometimes you have to do things like that to mentally put yourself there. Some people are visual. I understand. I had an ex that I was back and forth with. Sounds crazy, but everything that was accumulated from like our relationship. And this is when I was younger. I literally took all of it, put it in a suitcase, went to the end of a pier of the ocean, said a prayer, and chucked it as far as I could. And for me, even though that was symbolic to get me in a space where I wanted to detach my spirit from where I was, so I had to do something physical and tangible.
Well, I think
you have to get there.
That a lot of people look for is that it actually signifies something, you know, physical for you to just go, okay, that's it, I'm done, I'm gone, right, here we go. So yeah, so we were sharing our stories of all of this. Lorena.
This is girl talk. This is when we have those moments, because it's real. Like, this is what happens. And it's so funny because I'm telling you, I must be so comfortable and close to you. Grace, you had to be my sister from another mister, because I've never talked about these things,
Yeah.
you know, in a public space, in a, you know, and this is like a beautiful place for us to be in. And even in this, it's healing, and it reminds us. These are things that we all probably know, but we all need to be reminded, you know, we all need to get those checks from our close friends, from our girlfriends, of the things that we're doing. And honestly, I understand you were doing your love potion number 9. I get it. Girl, you got to do whatever you got to do. If you want to come here and I give you a baptism, we're in there.
But no,
whatever we have to do, like, just to get to that space.
On a serious note, it really is the symbolic of what it symbolizes for you. And for me, it was like, because, you know, I feel like this person is ingrained in me, right? I just feel like I think of this person all the time. And even though I did this, you know, declaration last week, and I declared to him that I'm done and he cannot call me anymore or anything, have anything to do with me. I did that, but then because he came back into my physical realm, I start being physical with my ideas of him and romanticizing about it. And I was like,
it's the
you know
energy. You understand? You intertwined with the energy. There's a reason that people do fast and do a certain amount of time, because I do believe, and this is like just spiritually my understanding of life, the things that exist in this realm also coexist above. Everything above is so below. And I believe that when you are detaching from those energies, you are removing yourself from that spiritual place too, because I do believe there's some type of silver lining that connects us from here to our heaven, higher vibration frequency. So you having that with him, your energies, because there's no place that you start and where you start and he ends. Yeah. In that spiritual realm. So what you guys are doing, we're having this infinite dance of energies.
It's infinite, you know? Yeah.
And that's what it is. And so, like, to remove that, it's cutting the cord that you want to be submerged in the energies that you want to be submerged in. That energy is no longer serving you, so you actually have to detach from it. Yeah. Here, there.
My detachment from him was exactly that, was having a deep, hot bath, saying some manifestations and prayers for myself, and envisioning myself, him expelling from my body and from my system, and me transcending to true love, a higher space of what our, you know, beyond our relationship and what it signified for us, and going into a true love space where it's not, none of this attachment anymore. So, you know, we're talking about, like, you know, the physical ways of detaching, but there's also the spiritual ways and the mental ways of envisioning things as well for yourself and detaching from exes. Because the thing is, it's not healthy to have these unhealthy attachments to people that are not serving to you. And, you know, and I think that
explain that too, Grace. When I just feel like when you're referring to serving you, not necessarily just in a material standpoint, but serving your growth, your elevation. When you're dealing with love experiences and you're coming from a spiritual place that you want to reach different growths and higher, you know, higher vibrations, you have to be in relationships that elevate you, where you grow with each other, where you're bringing out the best in each other. A lot of times when you're bringing out the bad, there might be a spiritual connection, but there's something karmic tied to it too. There's lessons that have to be learned. And to have the full, like, love is supposed to be elevating and beautiful and magical and mythical. It's that when you are equally yoked. It is that when two vibrations on the same frequency, you don't get there together. You coexist in two different places, and you constantly elevate. And when you come together, this frequency meets eye to eye, and you go even further. So when you're dealing with cheating, dishonesty, those are lower frequencies. Whoever's doing it, whether it's you or the person you're with, it's not serving your growth, because someone is dealing with a lower frequency. And it's not going to serve the person that's trying to elevate. You should have great experiences in love.
It pulls you down, doesn't it? You actually can physically feel it. It's actually a physical feeling when someone is being like,
it's draining.
Yeah.
And it's empty. And it sucks because a lot of people battle. You battle with the love, like you battle with your heart moving. You battle with that and the lower frequency and vibration. So where the issue is you have to understand, a lot of times the heart wants what it wants, it loves what it loves. The people that move you in that way, I believe that you've traveled with them in other lives. So to have that instant feeling with someone, you're recognizing a relationship that was established in another place, but you also have to recognize timing. Maybe that relationship doesn't serve you. Recognize the connection and move forward. That's one of the biggest lessons I had to learn in the last few years of my life, because I've always only dated people that I've had a true spiritual connection with. But I had to learn too, that spiritual connection may have needed to come, acknowledge one another's presence, and then move forward. You can't take everyone with you. Acknowledge it while you have this moment. Allow that season to be what it is, but move on. And greater will come. I do believe in that. I do believe if you put yourself in a space to know that someone that's equally yoked is there, work on yourself and you'll attract that vibration. Where that's why I need of that vibration.
Yeah, that's why I needed to do this, because I actually intuitively, I feel true love around me. But how is true love going to get to me when I have these attachments and walls built up because this other person exists around me? So
or how are you going to get, if that person's on the same frequency as you, but you're constantly putting yourself in a lower one, you're not going to attract each other. You're going to miss each other.
Exactly.
You know, because you're lowering your vibration, that maybe you're at a 10, you're going to a 5 because they're at a 0. You're meeting halfway. I do believe that whatever two people's energy is, you guys meet halfway. I don't think it's one or the other. Someone is going to decline, someone's going to elevate. That's why lower vibrations are attached to higher vibrations, because there's an elevation that happens for them, but for you, you're digressing. So you can't connect with that Mr. Right, Grace, if you're staying at a 5, but your natural frequency is a 10, but this is where you're at.
Yeah.
But you got to think about that. Like simple things, arguing, bickering, doing things that aren't creating more positive energy does affect your aura, your presence, your being as a whole.
You feel it physically. You feel the whole feeling of when someone's reacting and operating on a lower vibration. You actually feel your energy getting sucked down. You know, it actually is like a battery power. And when you need to recharge that power and put it into the right plug for you just to just go, well, shit, I didn't realize I could actually experience all this. Wow, it's raining heavily here. I don't know if you can hear
it's because that's the universe saying, let's clean that soul of yours, Grace. You want another bath? That's basically what it's saying. The universe. Anyway, no, I agree with you. And I think that that's a beautiful way to detach, is you have to get into that space of reality. How else are you going to detach if you're not in a space where you deal with the truth? So many people wait till they are powerless, so drained that they don't even know they're going to have to spend more time just getting back up to their normal self. It's so much wasted time when you stay in things that don't serve you. When you don't face reality and deal with someone. You can love someone, but know when to love them at a distance. Some people you don't need to take with you. It doesn't change the love. You don't owe someone your growth for love. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that love serves in that way.
Yeah. And when people talk about relationships being a compromise and healthy, that's not what it means. It doesn't mean to lower yourself of where you operate. It actually means that you meet eye to eye and you work that out. Because every time someone's draining you, exactly like we're saying, it just saps the energy out of you. And you need to break free from the shackles to allow yourself to fly, basically.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that. And that's how I feel. Like one of my favorite writers was saying that basically in order for, love to grow and there to be a foundation, that you can't have the same identity or one being the other's shadow. You actually have to be like pillars where you hold up a foundation together, where you have to be equally yoked, equally in the same place to be able to grow this foundation. And I do believe love is supposed to be a wonderful experience. I tell people all the time, if you work your kinks out, your shortcomings, and recognize them and live in that reality, you can have the love experiences you want. Where you can actually just exist, where two people can say, you know what, I've been through things, I've been hurt, I've been broken, but I'm not going to bring this into the relationship. I'm going to make it a clean slate and say, let's start from here because all we have is here. oh, we have this moment because you don't know my backstory, I don't know yours, but I do know that we met at this moment. So why don't we make something out of that? And I think that like a lot of people, they get into these relationships, they bring all this baggage, all this extra things with them, and it's taken away from the love experiences that they should be having. And you got to know when to walk away. There isn't a shortage of people. There's billions of people in this world on the internet.
I was just about to say it's the same thing. Just, you got to know when to walk away, to just let go of all that baggage, to just go, you know what, I'm here. This is all of me.
It's like poker.
Yeah.
You gotta know when to hold, when to walk away, when to fold. Like, it's like a song. It's like poker. You gotta know when someone's calling your bluff, like BSing you. You need to know these things. Like, you have to be very aware, and a lot of it has to do with being self-aware as well. Know what's going on within you, around you, and the person that you're dealing with. Reality, guys. Live in reality, please.
Live in reality.
So many people are in this fantasy, and I'm just like, oh my God, that's not like helping you at all. Like, you're wasting moments that you can't get back. Yeah, those moments can be used to heal yourself, to elevate, to work out the kinks, and to face yourself. Like, if you're dealing with things, if you got jealousy issues, possessive issues, if you don't, insecurity, like, use that time to nurture yourself back. Self-love. Yeah. So that your next experience won't be a repeated mistake. So many people get in these repeated situations. I'm like, because they haven't done anything differently. They wonder why they're in the same thing.
Yeah, you got to learn.
Because nothing's changed.
Yeah, you need to learn from every single experience and just learn and become better at it. You know, assess yourself, look at the situation, and then just kind of go, okay, shit, I need to do this differently. If this cycle keeps happening, there's a reason why this cycle keeps happening. There's a reason why
cut the cycles.
Yeah, well, that's another topic. Actually, that's a good topic. We'll have to do
We're going to talk about that too. Sorry, I'm talking so fast. I just had another coffee. And it got me on 10. That's why, like, I noticed I was going from here to
it's like 2 o'clock in the morning there, isn't it?
Oh shit, it's 12. Excuse me. My language. Yeah, I didn't even know it was 12. I'm gonna be sitting in the bed like
sipping on coffee. Oh, you're gonna be running around in the night there.
You already know, Grace.
I know. All right, guys. All right. Wrap it up now.
So thank you guys, always listening to our rants, our conversations, and adding to what we're doing. If you guys have any questions, suggestions for videos, we're here. Thank you so much, guys. Until next time.
Till next time. Bye for now.
Bye.